today is the finale or the last part of this poem. So every day, the frog who'd sold her songs for silver tried to scold her. Silver means money. So he tried to scold her. He was very mean and very cruel to her. This is what he said. He said, "You must practice even longer till your voice, like mine, grows stronger. In the second song last night, you got nervous in mid flight." What is he trying to do here? He said that you must practice more. The number of hours must be more. Remember that they were practicing for up to 6 hours. 6 hours just going up and down the scale. Now he's saying you must practice longer, even longer. And he is making a comparison. He's saying, I am strong, I am powerful. You also need to become strong like me. In the second song last night, you got nervous in mid-flight. Let's say it's similar to a bird or an aeroplane. In mid-flight, when you pause, you just come crashing down. In a way, he's telling her, why don't you become like me? What he's also saying is that you're not good or strong or talented enough. Don't let anyone ever tell you that. Don't fall into the same trap as the nightingale did. People who try to put you down will always say you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not talented enough. Believe me, everyone is good enough, everyone is strong enough, and everyone has their own talent. God has gifted us or blessed us with talents in our own ways. Now, I want to stress on the meaning of mid-flight. Literally, it means in the middle of the flight. Now, what he also means to say is that you fell down. You got nervous in the second song last night and you fell, and you're going to fall. He's putting a very negative and a very destructive message in the bird's head. Also, don't let anyone put any negative message or messages in your head. He continues the scolding. This is not enough. And here he starts acting like a bit of a coach. He says, and my dear, lay on more trills. Audiences enjoy such frills. You must make your public happier. Give them something sharper, snappier. So he scolds her and then he gives her a little bit of advice. It's like playing the good cop and the bad cop, giving a bit of negative criticism and then telling her this is what you can do to make yourself better. By the way, all this is wrong advice. It's intended to bring her down. Now let's look at the meaning of trill. What is trill? It is mainly used as phonetics or the way you pronounce something. In the vocal style, this is the extra decoration that sometimes vocalists do to show their talent. The next word is frills. Frills, it's really not very necessary, but it is added on to make it more stylish. And it's something that is unnecessary. It's an extra feature of embellishment. Okay, the scolding and the advice continues. He said, you must make your public happier. Give them something sharper, snappier. You must aim for better billings, and you still owe me 60 shillings. Sharp literally means to cut. But I want you to look at the slogan of a company called Sharp. It says, be original. That speaks for itself. When you copy others, you just become a duplicate. Now, snappy. What does snappy mean? What the frog is trying to say is become neat and elegant or become stylish. It also means someone who is irritable, who gets irritated easily, speaks very sharply or somehow snaps. The word itself comes from snapping the fingers. Now this is a picture of a Punjabi artist or a Punjabi singer. His name is also Snappy. Now on a lighter note, I think the Punjabis have taken all the interesting adjectives. You have snappy, you have lucky, you have happy, you have lovely, you have king, you have prince. So I really appreciate the Punjabis for giving a little bit of humor and a little bit of fun to everyone, including with their names. So snappy means someone who's stylish. Now, billing. Billing literally means a bill. Here, the frog is trying to say, improve your performance so that we can improve our profits. And by the way, you still owe me money. Remember, he had said, I will charge a modest fee. Modest means a small amount, but still then, he says, you still have to pay me. We have not made enough money for you to pay me. And what does he mean by 60 shillings? Shilling is a historical coin and it's the name of a currency. It was the frog said, you owe me 60 shillings. Let us convert 60 shillings to rupees. Okay, we have an answer from Lingnunem. Lingnunem's answer is 281.34 rupees. Yes, right answer. Very good. Well done. Lingnunem. 20 shillings equals to 1 pound. Therefore, 1 shilling is equal to 1/20th of a pound. Therefore, 60 shillings equals to 3 pounds. If 1 pound equals 93.78 rupees, when we multiply 3 into 93.78, we get 281.34 rupees. Very good. Well done, Lingnunem. By the way, 281 rupees, it's a modest amount as the frog said. But still then, was it really necessary for the nightingale to go through so much trouble just for 281.34 rupees? There is also a lesson here. Don't make money or making money the most important thing of your life, and don't bother about the small amounts. Many of us are penny wise, pound foolish. And then the results. Day by day, the nightingale grew more sorrowful and pale. Okay. Sorrowful means to become more sad, and pale means to become weak and sick. Night on night, her tired song zipped and trilled and bounced along. She started to perform mechanically, without any feeling, without any instinct. The poem says that she zipped and trilled and bounced along. Zipped means she just hurried through the performance, just went through, rushed through it. Trilled means just put on unnecessary, let's say, a little bit of tricks just to please the audience. And by the way, you can never fool the audience. They always know what is going on. And she bounced along. Bounced means she just went with the momentum. The best way to understand a bounce is, let us say, to look at a bouncing ball. The bounce always gets less and less. So what happened? The result was that the birds and the beasts, they grew tired at a voice so uninspired. They became bored and not interested anymore in watching her performance. And the ticket office gross crashed. Hardly anyone wanted to watch her. Hardly anyone went to see her perform and to hear her songs. Crashed is an economic term. It means suddenly when the value of something drops suddenly. Now, ticket office is also reference to the box office. The box office is a simple, closed, a small room, normally at the front of a theater, and nowadays in front of a movie hall or a movie theater, where you first buy tickets to get entry inside. That means no one was buying tickets anymore. They were going at a loss. And she grew more morose. Morose is a word I think teenagers and children will identify. It's a way of sulking when you put on a long face, when you show that you are unhappy. So inside she was unhappy. Now outwardly also she became morose or unhappy or started sulking. It showed in her behavior. Now, why was that? For her ears were now addicted to applause, quite unrestricted. She was used to hearing the applause or the claps or the cheers of the audience. Look at the picture and you will understand the meaning of morose. Maybe when you're morose, just go and look at yourself in the mirror. This is probably what you would look like when you are sulking in a bad mood. So this is what happened to the nightingale. And she was singing alone, and it was of no delight. It was no longer a source of delight or happiness for her and for everyone. Now the frog puffed up with rage, and he said a lot of things. In the book, it has somehow been put in a very mild way, but he would have been scolding her and shouting at her, puffed up at the top of your voice. When you're angry, your words become louder and they become more hurtful and harsh and painful. So he said, brainless bird, you are on the stage. Act like you are a performer. You are an artist. Use your wits or use your brain and follow fashion. Be just like a performer or a singer. Follow what everyone else is doing. Puff your lungs out with your passion. And then, trembling, terrified to fail, blind with tears, she was shaking with all the bad things that had happened to her, the unfortunate things. She was a star, very famous. Now she has come down to this level. And she's terrified, afraid, or very afraid to fail. She didn't want to fail. And she was crying so much that she got blinded with it. And then she puffed up, literally put all the air into her lungs to sing. Then she heard him out in silence and she tried, puffed up, burst a vein and died. So here we have the sad end of the Nightingale. But remember that this is a parody, it's a cartoon. So when you look at the death of the Nightingale, don't look at it in a sad way, is what Vikram Seth is saying. In cartoons also, animals die or creatures die and you don't feel sad about it. So what he's saying is that this is not really true. There was never a nightingale and a frog and a Bengal bog. There's just a story which I'm trying to tell you. Don't feel too bad about it. But the fact is that the nightingale died. Literally, she puffed up, blew up, she burst away, and it's like having an explosion inside you. So she blew up and died. And then what does the frog say? He said, what to do? I tried to teach her, but she was a stupid creature. Far too nervous, far too tense, far too prone to influence. Well, poor bird, she should have known that your song must be your own. That's why I sing with panache. He is just saying that I am better than her. I tried to teach her, but she didn't listen. But look at me. I am the frog. I am that frog in that Bengal bog. I have my own style, my own panache. The meaning of panache is your own flamboyant and confident style. And then the frog continued. Remember, we had heard this silly word earlier, ku-o-a, koas, koas. It has no meaning. It's simply the irritating sound which the frog makes as he croaks. And the foghorn of the frog bled unrivaled through the bog, unrivaled, having no other opposition, no other competition. He was the only one who went on singing and singing throughout the bog. Perhaps Vikram Seth wrote it for a young student or for children. Number one, be yourself. Don't copy others. You are talented and you have the resources and the support of your family, your friends, and your teachers. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you are not good enough or you are not talented enough. Don't let anyone put negative thoughts in your head. Always remain positive, remain happy, and be a little bit careful as teenagers because you are just growing up and experiencing the world for the first time. Make mistakes, that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Just don't be too proud or too difficult or too arrogant to admit. You make a mistake, you move on. Don't repeat that same mistake. Learn to look at the funny, or let us say the comic side of life. Yes, in life there will be ups and there will be downs. It will not always be happy forever or sad forever.